We gotta go set up like this.
We're rolling. Okay, we're going.
Hey guys, how you doing?
Hi, good.
Hi, Steven. Steven, yeah, I've met you about 5 times already. Yeah. So, how was the drive coming out here to the desert?
How was it? It was long.
It was good.
It was good.
I liked it. I was just telling Chelsea, as a guy born and raised in Pasadena, coming out of the desert for years, it was just 2 moves. We just get on the 10 freeway and all the way. So we're right off La Cienega. So we just get right on La Cienega to 10 and shoot. It's just very linear. It makes sense to me.
And you know what you guys are in for as far as, like traffic and when to leave and all that stuff, because it can get kind of crazy, but how is it getting here? Any traffic like that?
No.
It's so beautiful. Like, I feel like once I make it out, once we see the windmills, I can relax.
Yeah.
I feel like that means we're here.
Yeah, I've always felt like that's when you arrived.
Right?
Yeah.
When
The windmills is when it arrives, yeah.
Yeah.
My cousins have a restaurant out in Beaumont, too, so it made me... My cousins own Domenico's, and they're a chain... Not chain, but like a family-owned restaurant in Pasadena, and then randomly there's one in Beaumont, and so it kind of makes me feel like home. Like
I would go to that Domenico's as a child, yeah. So
it's
my
good.
family, they're from Monrovia, which is stone's throw from Pasadena, and we would go there as kids and great.
Oh, that's so cool! You go to the one in Washington in Pasadena?
I believe so, yeah. I just remember that as a child, like always going there was like a big deal, like that's
that's cool.
Yeah.
I worked at the Trader Joe's in Monrovia.
Oh, really? Yeah.
The headquarters of Trader Joe's on Shamrock Street.
Yeah, my mom and dad went to high school there, and their parents went to school there as well in Monrovia.
Wow.
So like Mayflower, Clifton, the schools that they have, if you're familiar with the school names, but like 3 generations or whatever came to Monrovia from Sweden. So just my great grandparents came from Sweden to Monrovia, and that was straight there. So
very cool.
Just randomly out of all places, it happened in Monrovia.
I like Monrovia. It's like got that old town, old timey feeling.
They film a lot of movies there.
On Myrtle. Exactly. Yeah. my friend owned a restaurant that just closed recently called Devon. It was like a fancy steakhouse like on Myrtle Street. So I like Myrtle Street.
Yeah, there's always. I remember growing up and seeing. I think they were doing just whatever movie it was, but you just see this whole setup. And this before I really knew about production, I was a kid. I was like, "What are they doing?" And you see all these lights and through it. Nowadays, I know what they're, I know what the gaff guns for and all that,
Yeah.
But it's just cool to see that, It's just because the old time houses and there's an old scary movie called The House or something. It was filmed up there in the hills of Monrovia, but it's some Stephen King style movie where the house kind of kills everybody, but it's still there.
Was that the people under the stairs?
I forget.
Have you seen that?
No.
Oh.
We don't have any real time fact check stuff here.
Damn.
But something like that, The House or something like that. Some 80s flick.
The House is the monster, which is like the idea behind The Shining.
Oh yeah.
Okay.
Are you guys movie buffs?
I am.
Yeah.
She is. Yeah.
What's your genre of movies you like?
I don't like particular genre per se. I used to when I was younger, like cool, like druggy kind of stuff. But I think, I don't know, it's like whatever.
Yeah.
She's just a movie nerd. I think I would say, I'll answer for her. I'd say anything with Ben Stiller in it.
Well, yeah, but...
That's me too.
But when you said, since we were talking about The Shining, I started like thinking of movies like that, and then he just jumped about 30 decades ahead.
I would say you watch a lot of indie movies, you watch a lot of horror movies, you love horror, indie, and comedy.
We saw Once Upon a Time in Hollywood, and I was like, it was such a good film. He was like, when did you start saying film?
Yeah.
And I think like certain movies are films and certain movies are movies.
Refined taste.
Like Toy Story is a movie. It's not a fucking film.
What's a film? What is the definition of a film?
I think like A Clockwork Orange.
That's a film.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think that's a film.
And
that is a film.
And maybe they even shot it on actual film. I don't know when Tarantino does digital.
I think he does all film.
I imagine he would. He's a kind of a purist.
She saw it. Okay, so she was like, we have to see it in his theater. It's on Beverly in Hollywood.
New Beverly Cinema.
And I was like, okay, whatever. And she was right. Like, it was so cool to see his last movie, Once Upon a Time.
There's one more.
In Hollywood. Well, that one but there's the last.
There's one more coming.
They're gonna make one more. He's gonna retire.
Yeah.
After 10.
I don't think he will.
No.
Or hopefully he'll get into television.
I don't think he will. You think he will?
I watched an interview and he was saying like that's just what it is. It's kind of like the rule of whatever number he believes in or whatever it was. It was just do that and maybe write a book or do right, but just he doesn't want to produce any more movies, but they're so iconic. And the soundtracks, that's what I like, because I'm a music guy, and like Reservoir Dogs and all that stuff, like great,
Oh yeah, his
50s, 60s, 70s rock and roll. And
she listens to his Pandora station.
Yeah, I listen to like a lot of soundtrack
Pulp
stations.
Fiction, all that soundtrack's so amazing.
Yeah.
Yeah, that was one of my favorite albums, the Pulp Fiction soundtrack when I was a kid. I loved it. Yeah. Have you seen a movie at his movie theater before?
Which theater is that?
New Beverly Cinema.
No, I don't believe so.
So it was my first time going. She was like, "Hey, let's go see it. We booked it like a month in advance. Let's go see his last movie, his latest movie in his theater." I was like, "Oh, who gives a fuck?" But in his theater, we went in and we had like an emotional experience. You had like, so I thought that was so cool. I think like it was really made me like love you even more. Like when we got in there, I was like, "That's interesting that the radio sounds like it's in the '60s," and I was like, "Well, that's cool." Like whatever. And then you went to use the men's restroom. I'm at the urinal, and they're playing like old timey commercials. And then you go sit down in the movie theater, and they're playing like Charlie Tuna was a radio DJ in the '60s in Los Angeles. Another smoggy day in Los Angeles. And I was like, oh. And then Chelsea at the same time was like the pre-movie previews were all commercials from that exact time and place. And then
there was like a bunch of scenes that didn't, like recently deleted scenes that not recently. Why did I say recently deleted? What is recently deleted? Is that something?
That's on your iPhone.
Oh, okay.
You control R.
Yeah, it was stuff that I'm like, what is recently? It's stuff that didn't make it into the movie. They made it into like a short. So then someone came out and explained to us what the music was and the shorts, and that Quentin wanted to immerse everyone into the experience of the times.
And she broke down hysterically crying. Yeah, because she was so emotional.
The atmosphere of the getting you ready for that experience. And I did see the movie. I went with some of the radio people that I work with. We got tickets and went to this, it's called the Camelot Theater in Palm Springs, where they do the Independent Film Festival and things like that. So we went to go watch it, and there was a bar, so we had our drinks. It was I walked in when they had the black and white intro deal, but that movie I liked it a lot.
I loved it.
I liked it too.
It was done very well, and I don't want to. There's no spoilers at this point. It's been out for a while, but for the people that haven't seen it, it's a great movie, and
so
things
cool.
they touch on being LA and Hollywood, and
love it. Yeah,
like who else can do it like him?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I love that, and that era was so cool. And I just think Hollywood. I love Hollywood, man. I love it. It's a little trashy on the east side of Hollywood these days. A lot of tweakers, a lot of fucking fucked up shit out there. But I love Los Angeles, man. And so that movie just cool. Shout out to Los Angeles. My dad was a film guy and TV guy in the 60s, 70s, 80s, and recently retired. And that whole generation, that whole stuff's in my blood.
It's a definite nod to that era,
and
100%. That's a timeless era. Like I can't imagine that time like really going out of style. Like 60s, I think like things are coming back. Whether people call it hipster, whether people just like music and like the style, the aesthetic, but
it's classic.
It's definitely like the cars from the era. Everything is
timeless. The music, the cars, those Hawaiian shirts, like the way they're all dressed is cool today, and I don't think that style has ever gone out of fashion. And it was I can't tell if that. So my dad used to work with a lot of stuntmen, and he would tell me like in the 70s and 80s he did like Dukes of Hazzard and like a bunch of like these. And he's like, the stuntmen were just fucking wild men. Like exactly what what Brad Pitt's kind of character was like these coked out, fucking crazy, ladies, men, wild people that made all these movies and TV. That was the exact guys that were on my dad's crews and stuff.
Yeah, they're basically like rock star road crew type guys where they're, like they do their gig and then they party afterwards, and I'm sure that groupies and everything follow because it's like, the whole industry and things like that. So I'm sure that was everything for them. Like that's a pretty cool gig, I think. You just got to be a tough guy, but a lot of sit around and wait type of jobs. You're always kind of on call, but seems like a good gig. Yeah, as long as you somewhat resemble. Who was your dad? Isn't he like? Did he do any films that?
He was a camera operator for years, and he was a cameraman for 90210 towards the end of 90210. But he did like a bunch of like Chevy Chase stuff. Another 48 Hours with Eddie Murphy. He did what TV did he do? His big one
St.
was
Elmo.
Oh, St. Elsewhere, The A-Team, 90210, Melrose Place.
Camera guy.
Camera operator.
West Wing, all that stuff. So he was on all those crews, and I grew up on all those sets. This TV show Dallas, which was like in the early '80s. Like I was like a kid on all those sets, And,
so when you're in production, it's secondary. It's like not even,
Yeah, I feel very
It's good to know how things come into fruition and how it gets on the television.
Yeah.
It's a lot of work. It takes a lot of people, a lot of behind the scenes.
Mm-hmm.
My dad was always crew though, and it always, like, to me, I always wanted to be an actor. My dad could have always gotten me. He's like, look, I can get you in right now to the union and all this stuff when I was a kid, but I never even had the balls to be like, I want to be an actor. So I would, like, sit there and secretly watch, but I never, like, that's what I wanted to do. So, like, that's not in my family at all, on the other side of the camera. So I kind of wish I was pushed more and did plays and did acting and did all that kind of stuff as a kid, but I never did that.
I see toddlers and tiaras, and I'm like, why the fuck did my mom put me in that?
I wish I had a stage mom.
I know, I wish. Well, my mom was kind of a stage mom.
Really?
Well, she had me, like, doing extra work when I was 12.
Yeah, so you kind of got a head start on the industry. How did comedy come into? Because you guys are both, stand up. For the people that are watching, you guys are both incredible stand up comedians, and you guys do, podcasts and other things like that, and skits and things. But where did the comedy come from? Like, just maybe if you can start, so you can just.
Sure. Well, I was a kid and I knew that there was genius inside, and I was at a park and I saw this leaf falling.
No.
It fell in. No, I'm just kidding.
So poetic.
No, honestly, the first time I had a conscious revelation, my parents were divorced, and there was never like a lot of love in the house or like happiness. We were happy, we had enough, but there was never kind of like all the family coming together.
The glue wasn't really all there.
The glue wasn't all there. That's exactly how I would describe it. And we were in a motel room in Huntington Beach, spending the night for some reason. We would go to Huntington Beach a lot. I got a hotel or motel. And I remember I was like 8 years old, and I was, usually my bedtime was earlier, but it was like a weekend. We were at the beach, and Saturday Night Live happened to be on. And I didn't really understand the skits, but like crazy stuff was going on. I think it was like a weightlifting scene where someone did pulled a weight and their arms fell off and blood was shooting. And I was like, wait, this exists? And I just was like so titillated by it. I was like, oh my God. And I looked over and my dad was laughing. My mom was laughing. I was laughing, and I was like, what is happening here? But it like brought my whole family together. And I can remember that being like the other time would be our wedding day, but like a few crystallizing moments where I was like, I don't know what is happening here, but I feel so good. Everybody in my house is happy and there's no problems. And then I kind of felt that later watching Mr. Show, like in the 90s. I was like, ooh, that exists. I want to do that. And, I knew from early on, like, that's what I wanted to do. I wanted to be a part of that. I didn't know how. I didn't know if I was like the main clown or what I would do, but I just remember always being obsessed with comedy and being like, that's laughing and joking, and then became a class clown, and that's the most important, fun thing in my life. And I'm 39. It's taken me a while to get to where I am, just because of I think I loved it so much. I was scared of it. I almost was like, oh, it's this. I don't think a lot of things are holy on this fucking planet, but comedy is like one of the. I don't respect religion.
It's a purity.
It's pure.
It's like music. It's the same thing. It's like, I'm a musician. I'm not a comedian by any means. I post funny memes and things like that. We were talking about earlier off camera.
Yeah.
But other than that, I appreciate talent, and I think when it comes naturally, you guys are just radiate funny, so it comes across. It's not like you're trying to be funny. You guys are
It's nothing worse than trying to be funny. It's like someone trying to be sexy. It's not. It's like it'd be like me trying to be a pro baseball player. It just doesn't look good.
I think it's maybe why certain people that are starting off in the industry, if they already have it, then that's why maybe they surpass somebody that's been working for so long, or you just get lucky. There's a lot going on, but regardless of fame or followers or whatever it was, I'm going to tell you a quick funny story. When I first went to the Comedy Store, you were hosting, and you got, and I think this is before you guys got married. It was a little
3
while.
years ago.
Well, then maybe you guys were already married by then. But there was something where you were hosting, and then you introduced Steven as like he just got back from the Staples Center or something.
Oh, yeah,
Do you remember that?
Martin.
Yeah.
You had your whole thing, and it's like, and I was like this naive guy there thinking like, for all I know, like he probably is. It's that funny. I put it on everything I love. The way you came out, I'm like, this is, and you're walking up to people like you're a motivational speaker and like kissing people on the cheek, and brilliant, and that always stuck with me.
Thank you so much,
I was like,
dude.
Like, for all I knew, you were, the Tom Cruise of comedy, or whatever you want to call it.
I'll take that. Yeah. Tom Cruise and Magnolia.
I'm just saying because, the Staples Center, I bought it. Like, you guys sold it pretty well,
Yeah, that means the world to me. And the biggest compliment I get, I don't even try to be funny with that character. I just try to I truly try to heal people, and like I
Robbins them, yeah.
Yeah, and I believe it, and they believe it. People cry, like I've got emotional. I don't know what the fuck's going on.
Whatever that character is, it's brilliant.
Yeah, it's Mark. Thank you, I appreciate that, Mark Martins. Yeah, I have fun doing that.
Nice. And then, so with your experience with comedy, how did that all go down?
I wanted to do stand-up for a really long time. I was like, a class clown, always getting into trouble and being really crazy. And I saw George Carlin on TV when I was like 10, and I was like, who the fuck is that? And I thought it was really funny. I grew up listening to Howard Stern, so, I had a lot of dirty influences. And I just always wanted to do stand-up. I did there was like a mic going on at a bar when I was 18, and I like got up, but I don't really count that as starting because I was just like jumping on the stage. But I had wanted to do it for a long time, and then I eventually did it. I too was scared for a long time, and I started when I was 26. It's been 6 years, and just kind of, you work your way up doing mics and then shows and performing at, all the clubs and building relationships and then opening for people and stuff. So just, working the ladder up.
Mm-hmm.
So how did you guys end up meeting? So you're from Pasadena. Where did you come from?
I'm from New York. I've lived out here for 6 years, and we met I think a year after I had been here. We met at an open mic. He was hosting it. I was trying to get up. I was trying to cut the line.
She was trying to cut the line. Not on my show.
What was the show? What were you guys booking?
It was just an open mic. It was at Sal's Comedy Hall.
It was like the back of a restaurant.
Yeah. Those are probably some of the funny shows, I'm sure, where it's kind of like anything goes.
Yeah. It's just kind of a practice mic. It was just like a practice mic, but I enjoyed hosting because it's like, if, economy of time, if you're a new comic, hosting an open mic, you get to go up for an hour and a half. You don't have to pay. Sometimes you get a free meal. You build all these relationships, and you're kind of controlling the thing. So I was hosting it, and then I was like, who's this hot chick trying to fucking cut in line? She was like, hi, so I'm like 8th on the list. I don't know. I was like, yeah, you are. And she's like, so.
I was like, can I go next?
Can I go next? And I was like, why? So then I think I was rude to her on stage.
Yeah.
And then I found her on Facebook. I felt really bad. Because I kind of dissed her on stage. And
and he sent me a message, and his profile picture was him in a turtleneck. And I was like, who the fuck is this guy?
It wasn't a turtleneck. It was a wrap. It was a funny picture.
But it was like a really annoying photo.
But it was, I'm a comedian.
I was like, who is this person? But then we started talking, and then we met up, and then we were just best friends from the start, and just hung out like every single day. I talked all day long. We're best friends for 3 years, and then we finally hooked up. Mm-hmm. He ate my pussy 9 times in one day, and then it was done.
It was history.
Happily ever after.
Yeah, happily ever after. We never fight or anything.
And you guys live in Los Angeles now?
Yeah, West Hollywood, right by the Viper Room.
Nice. Yeah. Aren't they getting rid of the Viper and building this?
I heard that.
Yeah.
So we live on Larrabee Street, and no.
Any other details you want to give?
No, they're not gonna fucking find us. We have guns. We have guns. We're ready. No. But on our block where we live, it was a Magic Street. The next block over is where Motley Crue met. The Motley Crue house on Clark Street. The whiskey. So I kind of I like to Google wherever I'm living and find out factoids about it. And we were walking to the Comedy Store, and I was like, Andy Kaufman's a big influence of mine. I'm like, I wonder if Andy Kaufman lived around here. I've always wondered that. And we had our Comedy Store shirts on, and some lady was like, "Where are you kids off to?" I go to the Comedy Store. She was like, "Oh, well, I don't know if you know who this is, but Andy Kaufman used to rent this room right here at one of those old houses on our block that they're now tearing down." And I feel like we were like the last people to know that factoid. I go, Andy Kaufman? She goes, well, I'm a realtor. I knew the owners. See that basement window? And I was like, yeah. And they're like, Andy Kaufman used to live there. As we're walking down to the Comedy Store, I was like, Andy Kaufman did the same. I don't know. I just got chills. That means something to me.
That's a crazy discovery to think such greatness was right there.
Right there. And I look over every time because now they have a canvas thing around it. They're going to fucking tear it down. That's speaking to I think they're tearing down most of that.
Amoeba too. They're doing that big record store. You hear about that? They're building a high rise.
Are they really?
Yeah. The big record store that they have there.
Yeah, legendary.
Exactly, and they do stuff. They even have concerts in there. They have the ultimate record collection and all that sort of thing. But they're going to, at least last I heard, that knock it down and build condos
and then sell everything online.
Yeah, I guess but just a shame. Yeah, that these gems are kind of going away. It's just going back to the story talking. I wonder if that was documented. I wonder if you could find information on his whereabouts or location. I'm sure things like that are documented.
Yeah, I do a lot of Googling and find out where, like, historical. What's so funny?
I do a lot of Googling.
I do like where historical. I connect to places and to like I find energy at a place. So like every time I pass by on my way to the store, I look over and I look over the canvas thing and I see his little window. I'm like, I'm the last person who knows that story. This is gonna be wrecked. I don't know. There's something special. I connect to places. There's something special about that.
That energy is drawing you guys in.
Yeah. Yeah.
Well, I would like to keep sitting here and talking, but we have to catch a show in about 20 minutes. You guys are going to be co-headlining at the Big Ball.
Yes.
So
bumping mics.
Yeah, there you go. Yeah, so I just want to thank you guys so much.
Thank you so much.
Yeah, thank you, Nigel. Thank you so much. If you guys don't follow him yet online, but from my wife's lips, funniest Facebook follow. Instagram
he's
follow.
my funniest Facebook friend.
She told me that. I was a little jealous when I walk up.
Really?
Like, well, because I'm on your Facebook.
No,
friends.
it's so fucking funny,
Okay,
and it's like my exact taste of like what
It's very
It
funny.
feels perfectly curated for my sense of humor.
And I didn't know
there's never one I don't like.
You're obviously Nigel, your name on Facebook, but you're Shepard Fuzz.
Sherper Fuzz, yeah.
What does that name mean?
So I'll just do it here for the camera.
You got blast out your shit.
Have asked me. This is a pedal from the '60s called a Univox Super Fuzz.
Wow.
And I call myself Sherper Fuzz because Sherp for my friends means like have a good time out here.
Is this a wah wah pedal?
That's a fuzz box, so it makes it sound like the Rolling Stones psychedelic.
A wah pedal, yeah.
But it's not a wah, it's a fuzz pedal.
Oh,
that's $1,000 tin box.
Oh,
that's so cool. So now we know.
Yeah.
So you follow him on Instagram. You're a very funny follow on Instagram.
Is this the Peter Frampton thing?
I don't know. No.
Yeah, that's a wah-wah pedal.
That's a talk box.
That's a talk, box.
Joe Walsh, all those guys, Rocky Mountain Way.
Yeah.
Have you had Dean Del Rey on your show?
He's actually coming. I met him.
Yeah, I feel like you guys would get along.
When he took me back at the Comedy Store, he gave me a tour, and I went back there and I met him, and I met him, I think, during Kill Tony, and he's coming out. I forget the date, but he's going to be out here the next month or so. And,
awesome.
Yeah, so he seems like a really funny guy.
Yeah, really funny, really fun, and I think with the music, you guys are a natural fit. He's going to crush out here.
All right, guys.
Follow me on Instagram. Can I give a shout out?
Yeah.
At Stephen Randolph 2, at StevenRandolph2. Follow me. I put funny stuff. I've got a podcast, So Deep Podcast with Stephen Randolph. She's going to be my next guest. Who's she?
I'm Chelsea Skidmore, ChelseaSkidmore on Instagram, Skidmore Chelsea on Twitter, and my podcast, The Chelsea Skidmore Show, is on iTunes. Check it out.
Who have you had as guest on your awesome podcast? She has a better podcast.
Good ones. Dave Navarro, Ben Stein, Jerry O'Connell, Rachel Bloom from Crazy Ex-Girlfriend will be on it this week.
What else do you guys want?
Yeah.
What else? It's time to go kill it.
Come watch these guys. Yeah. Check them out. Thank you.